G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We're here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultans of Sand, and boy oh boy have we got a good game for you guys today. I'm hoping that Crackety is going to be looking to enact a little bit of revenge on my part. But let's talk about that in a little bit. Let's focus on our two players today. Spawning in on the west side of the map, playing as Jeanne d'Arc. We have Mesotron in yellow. Have a look at that nice little monument he's got going on there in the TC. Beautiful little spot. English with the palings. I'm loving it. And on the west side, rather on the east side, in the color purple, playing as the Byzantines, it's Crackety here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. If you're enjoying this Age of Empires 4 content, I encourage you to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that good stuff, and let's get on to it. So, for anybody who's unfamiliar with Mesotron, this is the guy that did me dirty in this exact same matchup in a casted game that Beastie did recently. If you haven't checked that out, then make sure you go jump over to Beastie's channel, go say g'day to him and have a look. Any of the thumbnails that look like my thumbnails, those are the casted games he's doing. He's casting a whole bunch of my games, and I suspect they're probably just going to be losses. But one of them that he did cast was against Mesotron, and he was playing Jeanne d'Arc, and I had a lot of trouble dealing with Jeanne d'Arc early on, once level 3 came through. So I'm curious to see exactly how Crackety's going to be playing, because it was the exact same matchup. It was the Byzantines against Jeanne d'Arc, and because of that, I'm going to be taking notes here. I'm going to be mainly focusing on Crackety's perspective, seeing what he does differently, and already I'm beginning to see the differences. So the Mido build is slowly taking over for the Byzantines, and we can see it's going to be the addition of that second system here early on for Crackety, which is going to be boosting up his economy. It's going to be helping him out a huge amount here, and we can see he's actually, you've got to be careful with these little ones. These ones will kind of trick you out if you're not careful. He's going to be throwing down the aqueduct network, looking to connect up these systems here. But there we go. It's going for a very, very rigid network, not looking for any kind of angles at all in that one. But yeah, this is a matchup that I will be paying very close attention to, because you've arguably got the, well, not arguably, objectively, I mean, we've got the numbers now. You've got the worst civilization in the game currently, the Byzantines, up against one of the best civilizations at the moment, Jeanne d'Arc. And that's kind of wild, right? You're talking 58% win rate over here for Jeanne d'Arc versus the Byzantines with 40% win rate. And the crazy part is that that gets worse as you go up the ladder. For Conqueror players, it's even further than that, or even worse than that. So I'm going to be taking notes, as I said to you guys. Let's see how the game goes as the age up begins to come through for Mesotron early on. Now, remember, both of these guys Conqueror 3 players. So we're going to have the absolute best, the bee's knees today for you guys. And, well, the question's going to be, how does it look to unfold? I'm curious to see whether Crackety goes for a castle age, whether he goes for an imperial age, whether he's just going to focus on fighting it out in the feudal age. But we do see it's going to be the imperial hippodrome coming down. 6 villagers on this age up as well, so he's looking to rush this one up. You can see he's working towards getting that 150 stone. He's looking to try and pick up enough resources for that third cistern. He's already got the 2 cisterns down. Third cistern, probably going to be looking to add it in. I guess he could add it in somewhere over here, but he's already covering pretty much all of the areas that you'd need to in this base. I don't think you'd want to go to this top side. He's got the trade post here as well. He could look to go for Royal Knights. Is it really worth it though? Probably not. I mean, Keshiks versus Royal Knights, you'd probably want to take the Royal Knights, wouldn't you? But I suspect probably he's going to be looking to come down here with that third system, but we'll have to wait and see. He's almost got enough resources in the bank for it now. Age up on the way through, slowly and steadily for both of these guys. 3 villagers just over here, and we got Jeanne d'Arc. I'm still working on the pronunciation. Apologies. I know there's so many people that get triggered about my pronunciation, but you got to remember, as a sheltered Australian guy, I don't spend a lot of time speaking other languages. Age up comes through. Wheelbarrow on the way. Jeanne d'Arc now looking to throw down that house as well, just to progress that experience a little bit further. Over on that other side of the map, let's check in with Crackety and see. His age up about to come through as well. Give it to me, Crackety. Not a bad little timing. 4 minutes and 29 seconds. And expect to see that third system thrown down. Where's he going to go? He could go in the back of the base as well. That could be a decent option for him, but he's got enough resources for it now because the age ups come through, but he's not dropping it. Is he just... Oh, is he just going for a second TC? Surely not. Is that even possible? Is that even legal? Okay, he's not. All right. I was a little bit confused. I'm like, he's really not dropping it down, but then it all makes sense. He was taking his time. First of the horsemen are now coming out, and I do like this playstyle a lot. I think if there's one thing that I like about the Mito build more than anything, it's that, and I hate to say it, but I feel like the mercenaries could be an early trap. It's a huge investment for resources, and it does take some time to kick in. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go for mercenaries, but number one, by taking the berries early, you're reducing your speed that you get to age up with. Number two, you have to spend 150 wood on the mercenary house. Number three, you have to wait for your mercenaries, which takes time. Then you compare it to an opening like this, where you've got units out on the field immediately. You've been on sheep this entire time, so your gather rate's higher, your walk distance is less. It just feels a lot better. I really like this opening. All right, well, horseman numbers starting to build up. That Royal Knight coming around the backside for Mesotron here. He's looking to find a way through. No villagers at the moment for him to spot out. Second Knight back on the other side of the map. No signs of a second town center at this stage, but the age ups come through from Jeanne d'Arc, or rather the level ups come through from Jeanne d'Arc. You can see he's got a nice little rally point out here, except it looks like he's going to be... See, he's not killing that deer, I hope. No, he's not. He's just on an attack move, looking for any wolves over here. And I do suspect you're probably looking for some boars shortly as well. There's a boar up towards the north, one down towards the south. And now that knight comes through. Town center with 15 inside, and you can see doesn't even pop the Akratoid defenses. Royal Knight on 2 HP. Send this one back to the base. Never ever come out until you're full health again, my friend. That's it. You know, you've done your job this game. That is going to be it. That's all we need. Another Royal Knight coming through. Looks like the charge. Going to be trying to make a connection around the wall. Comes through. Should be able to get the kill here. Indeed he does. Very well played. If that Akratoid defenses had been hit slightly earlier, the Royal Knight wouldn't have been able to get that kill. And you actually trade out one villager for one Royal Knight. That's not a terrible trade, but we can see Chivalry's already coming through. And this is only because he's got an opportunity to use Chivalry on this Knight back here. So it's one of those things where you kind of force your opponent's hand, and you can see he puts it in the town center. Definitely the right call here. Wants to make sure that Knight is not going to be going down from Mesotron. Definitely makes a lot of sense. But I love the use of walls early on from Crackety. I think that's definitely one of the things that I would be drawing in on my game, saying, all right, well, we've got to use a bit more walls here. Just the way that he's able to prevent these knights from coming through around areas that you don't really have line of sight. And keep in mind that you will have access to border settlements eventually. But up towards the north side, Jeanne d'Arc could be in a little bit of trouble. As we can see, the boar is also getting in on the action. But unfortunately, the Byzantine player, Crackety, has found Jeanne d'Arc up towards the north, and this is exactly what you want to be doing, I think, in this matchup. You want to be disrupting Jeanne before she's able to come out onto the boar, and if he can actually take the boar out right now himself, that way Jeanne won't get any of the experience, that's going to be huge. And you can see he's not even able to buy back her just yet. 250 gold. This is definitely the way to play it. You know what? I'm already learning quite a bit here. Now, the question is, does he know where the other boar is? He does, and he can see it on the map. I'd be tempted just to go down. Is that what he's doing? It's what he's doing. Look at that. He's coming down to this side. Oh, you love to see it, don't you? He is looking to really make this Joan of Arc player's day not go particularly well. And this is where I think that we can jump to conclusions about balance, right? Like, you can say, all right, you know, Byzantines are terrible. Jeanne d'Arc is broken. But at the end of the day, you got to let them cook. You got to let the Byzantines work up their magic, and now you can see that we're starting to develop a playstyle that is able to deal with these civilizations. It's only taken a week for us to get there, and the problem is you got people like me who just jump up and down as soon as one unit gets too strong or looks too strong. I'm screaming like, overpowered, nerf it now! But the reality is, Crackety here, I mean, this is a pretty even matchup. As I mentioned, both Conqueror 3 players. Yet he finds a way. He says, okay, well, what do I know about this civilization? Number one, I know that she's looking to get out onto the map early. So I'm going to try and build horsemen. And then number two, I'm going to deny that bounty or that leveling experience from her. I'm going to delay her level up. And if I delay the level up, that means I'm going to be finding more time in the feudal age to do the things that I want. Then on top of that, you've got things like the Mito build, which just really, the reason, oh my God, jeez. Okay, part of the reason why I like the Mito build a lot, and that's the 3 early systems, is because it simplifies the Byzantine playstyle. Previously with the Byzantines, one of the things I was doing, I was keeping 2 villagers on stone the whole way, or 1 villager on stone, and I would just slowly trickle in my cisterns, and sometimes you'd forget about it, and you'd look and you'd be like, oh, I've got 600 stone, I've got to put my cisterns down. Knights, gonna be up against the horsemen here. You can see the spears are actually coming out here for Jeanne d'Arc. Definitely a little bit strange to see a French player making spears, but it's definitely something needed in this matchup. But yeah, just heading back to that previous point. What was my previous point? Oh yeah, simplification of macro. One of the things that happens is I'll be drawing like an aqueduct network and dropping a cistern down, and my enemy's pushing me, and it's like it's quite a bit to work out. Like, look, at the end of the day, it probably takes like 3 or 4 seconds to build the cistern and to get the aqueduct down. But there's things that you want to do, right? Like, you want to build the aqueduct with a separate villager from the cistern. There's a whole bunch of factors, but now in the middle of the map, Crackety can be losing out on these horsemen early on in the game. Big losses right there, and you can see the Lametanai number starting to build right now. This is looking pretty decent for him, and I love the fact that he's playing into this as well. Just massing up Lametanai. Now, one of the things to note is that the shield wall reduces the damage taken first and then applies the armor after. So, armor for these units are really, really important. Any unit that's got a reduction in any kind of way. So, the Lametanai's got one. The Gilded Knight for the Giga Chads, or for the bigger Chads, has got the Imperial upgrade, which reduces the damage they take when they charge. And they've also got one for the Men-at-Arms in the Feudal Age. But essentially what it means is it applies that 50% and then applies the armor afterwards. So here you've got an archer doing 6 damage. It gets bonus damage against units such as Lametanai, because they're light melee infantry. So here you've got 11 damage that's coming out. Let's just simplify it by calling it 10. So if you've got +1, that should be 9 damage that it does. However, with the hardened Lametanai taking 50% less damage, it goes from 10 down to 5, and then it applies the armor after that, so it's only 4 damage that they're taking. So it's a really, really nice way for the mechanic to work. But now, Lametanai, beautiful job. He gets the skewer, manages to take out a single knight, now comes through with the split archers on the backside, still getting some decent shots off on that trade. Looks like Jones thrown down that heal. Pops all of the knights, gives them a little bit of extra, but those knights aren't going to be charging back in anytime soon. He needs to make sure he's behind these walls. And speaking of these walls, have a look at these walls that are coming up towards the top side of the map. A single villager just looking to wall absolutely everything at this point in the game. And now, longbows. He's gone into the longbowmen, so not looking to go into the Keshiks. Another mistake that I was making. I was definitely doubling down on the Hippodrome. I said to myself, you know what? We're going cavalry with the Hippodrome. It makes sense because we've got that triumph ability. Well, now let's double down on it. Let's go into Keshiks, and then that way we've got more cavalry. But you can see here that Crackety is going to opt for longbowmen instead, which is going to complement his army quite well. The question is going to be, how many longbows is he going to be able to get out? He's going to need to get onto the map, look to try and get access to these berries. You can see he's got berry patches outside the walls here, but definitely could be something that he could acquire shortly. Now, one thing to note, which I find a little bit curious, is these walls are huge. And I really don't know why he's going for this. Because, I mean, to me, it would feel like a wall across this top side would make slightly more sense. I mean, you're getting the gold, you're getting the relic, but that's about it. I guess you also unlock this boar, or because we don't really see that, do we? It's not unlock it, but you could kind of lock your enemy out from it. And one of the things that Joan players will do is try and go for that boar early on. It's always something to be mindful of. But now these walls, look at the walls continuing to come up. Oh my lord, talk about walling like a maniac right now. Now Crackety going to be heading for the high hills. Villager will probably be going down. Indeed she does. And now more villagers looking to try and escape out here. At the same time blocking the wall. And oh my god, a castle age coming through here from Crackety. He's bought himself so much time early on by denying this experience from Joan. She's continuing to push out. Still only level 2. Level 2. What was that? Oh, she was using a consecrate. I thought that she had aged up or leveled up right then. I was like, oh my god. Talk about timing. So normally, you can expect to see it anywhere between 13 to 15 minutes. So Joan should be pretty close to aging up or to leveling up at this point. Nice little job with the Lametanai. Looks like this wall will not come up. Pressure will be applied towards this back position. The hunt together with the berry bushes under threat. It's got Vils on the gold out on this angle as well. And the age up comes through. How's his cisterns doing? Level 4, not too bad. It's close to level 5. We can see the single villager on stone. And with the completion of the archery range, he's got enough now to throw down the aqueduct as well. All right, numbers starting to look decent here for his opponent. 47 military population against 30. Longbow's just slowly teeing off, though. Keep in mind they've got that safety at range. And with the Tower of the Sultan, with the Golden Horn Tower coming through, this is going to mean he's got access to even more longbows here. I'm curious. Okay, I was going to say, I'm curious to see whether he picks up the veterancy contract just yet. One of the things I kind of like to do with this is just avoid it early on, because the second tier of units always feels like it's a little bit worse. If we take a look now at the mercenary house, it's like you're going from longbows, which are an amazing unit, to the Landsknecht, which are cool, but in this position right now, I feel like mixing them isn't really going to help your case. It's definitely longbows that you want to try and stick with. But we see veterancy coming through for the Sultanate. Now, what's happening over on the other side of the map? It looks like Mesotron's going to be going for that age up as well. We'll switch it over to the income, so you guys get a bit of an idea on where these guys currently sit at. Looks to be about 2,600, 2,700 for Mesotron, compared to his opponent, who sits about the same number, maybe slightly higher, because we've got the olive oil as well. And oh, Joan gets caught once again. Royal Institute, though, going to be going down over towards that west corner of the map. So we'll be looking for a Royal Institute timing potentially. He's got a number of unique technologies available to him in that landmark. But now that push coming through from Crackety. Numbers looking pretty decent for him. 47 versus 50. Sultanate out on the field. Longbow's now going to be trying to play with fire as they begin to throw their arrows into the stable. He's just looking for any units that he can put pressure on, and now going to be able to take out these archers. Needs to wait for the Castle Age upgrades to come through. Mesotron, he's slowly but steadily, he's getting there. He's got the gold in the bank as well, so I'd be looking for... What are we looking for at this stage? I mean, mainly, I'd be saying probably want to go for melee armor, I think, would make sense. Veterancy, definitely makes sense. Royal Bloodlines, okay, that's a big one. I didn't think he'd be able to afford that, but it seems like he's managed to scrounge together the gold for it. Has he got a market somewhere? No, he doesn't. Where did he get the gold for that? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Maybe he's got a lot of vills on gold. Yeah, he's got 19 vills on gold. Never mind. That's a lot of vills. I had a look at that before. I was like, he had about 400 gold in there. But now the numbers are starting to look good. Let's check in towards Crackety's base and see how he's doing. Beautiful little position that he's got here. Triple stable going to get thrown down as well. 5th Cistern has now arrived. That means that he's going to have plenty of gather rate on these villagers. You can see them all being buffed up. 25% gather rate. Absolutely chef's kiss. You love to see it. 17 minutes into the game. Push is definitely coming out. And you could see, I mean, Crackety's just been able to demonstrate how to play the Byzantines. I love the way that he's staying on one base here. Not at all moving into the second TC. I think he had the opportunity for it, but it's just about playing safe, right? And because even at this stage, you're not safe. You've got to remember that the enemy's got Royal Knights. They've got bloodlines coming through. At least you can expect that they've got it coming through. And you've always got to be really careful playing against that type. I love this composition, by the way. Crossbows together with Knight together with Longbowmen. This is the dream composition coming out right now. Absolutely beautiful stuff, and very nicely... I got no idea what those Knight were doing right there. They look like they were on hold position for a second, I think. A little bit strange. More upgrades coming through, though, for Crackety. We see +2 on the melee armor. Insulated helm coming through for him. This is going to help him out a huge amount with that shield wall, remember. Varangian guards out on the map as well. Let's check in on that south side as the farm transition comes in for Mesotron. He's got all of the army together. Still no level 3 on Joan, by the way. We're 18, almost 19 minutes into this game. She's trickling in experience every second that goes on, but it's a lot slower when you're not out there killing enemy units. And maybe that's a credit to Crackety. By avoiding fighting, he delays that Joan age up or level up. Upgrades on the way, though. It's going to be Ordnance Company together with Veterancy for the archers and the spearmen. Ordnance Company going to be reducing the cost of all of your gold, food, and wood for your consecrated buildings. So you can see right there, a drop from 20 down to 15. So a nice little bonus. But, of course, your enemy can see these consecrated buildings and can look to focus them down. You can see that he's just... All of them are... The ones on the front, unfortunately, are the consecrated ones. Ones on the back, they're going to be the ones that are yet to receive it. Makes it very easy pickings for Crackety. 69 military pop at the moment. How does Crackety have a villager lead over his opponent? Has it just been a bit of idle time? I mean, he's managed to kill 5 workers so far. There's no second TC back there either. And now the longbow's pushing forward here. Able to take out a couple more. Looks like we might have ourselves a bit of an engagement. Let's bring it on in. Knights get a decent charge on the front line. Lamet and I nowhere to be seen. Crossbows now need to be making sure that they're focusing down all of those units, and you can see Joan just gets sniped out completely before she can even do anything, and that's the power of taking out that early level 2 Joan so she never gets level 3. Longbowman completely on the back, undefended here as the cavalry comes around, and you can see right now, you know, we were just talking up how good the position was from Crackety, and unfortunately his French opponent just rolls over the top of him, and that's what I was saying before about how you can't be too careful against a French player. Against a player like Mesotron on Joan of Arc. And the reason why is just because of those Royal Knights. They're so tanky. Unless you've got enough of a front in the Lament Knight to hold them on, as well as enough crossbows to one-shot them, it's a very difficult game to play. But now we'll be heading back towards Crackety's base and seeing what the plan is for him, as Lance Connector have been mixed in here. You can see the crossbows were being rallied. He's starting to build with them. Which unit comp does he go into? And he looks like he just says yes. Everything. Wheelbarrow finally coming through. It's going to be a 21-minute wheelbarrow here for Crackety. Jeez. Talk about taking your time. Keep thrown down on the south side as well. Up towards that northern position. The numbers are looking a bit scary. I tell you what, this is not going well. Mesotron, has he got Joan back on the field though? He has, and she's reached level 3 now. Joan breaks down the wall. Men at arms at the back here. Remember, these are tough little guys. Joan's champions. So, where does Crackety go from here? How does he deal with this threat? I feel like Spear, Crossbow, Mangonel could be the way to play it. So, Lament and I, Crossbow, Mangonel. That could definitely work. Oh, gosh. How long is that wolf going to be attacking? Hopefully not too much longer. If this cistern goes down, by the way, you're going to be paying a decent price to replace these. Keep in mind, each cistern, it's expensive. 250 stone for them. So that's a 250 stone loss right there. Monastery. 2 relics inside. He's got 2 more on the way through. Lament and I running forward. We're heading to the cinematic mode once again as Crackety looks to defend. Nice job at taking out Joan. She's been focused down. Not a lot of health left on her, but he manages to keep her alive. And now underneath the aqueduct, the ranged units tee off towards each other. Heading back towards that safety of the cistern. More Lament and I. Varangian guard together. Building. The numbers at the moment looking good for Crackety. Battering ram slowly but steadily working down this barracks as well. You can see the Crackety's just peppering it. Just giving it a little pepper. With the longbows. Now let's check in with the economy. 69 villagers versus 47. Is Mesotron just not training villagers? Is that what's happening? I don't get how he's so far behind. He's lost 11 workers, but he shouldn't be 10 vills behind. Has Crackety added a second TC when I wasn't looking? Doesn't look like it. Very, very strange. Oh, but now could use the Wallalol to defend this position. Let's see how he goes. Joan runs through. Big shots come in. There's the Wallalol looking to defend. The relic is held. Nothing is going to be taken, at least at the moment. He could look to pick up a second one if he wanted to go for it. Arbilatria numbers starting to build up here as well. Take a look at this on the front line. Really starting to get heavy out here. Now those Royal Bloodline Knights once again run through. And we've got chaos on the dance floor as water has spilled onto it. Sacred Sight's being taken behind this. Longbow numbers starting to build here. Reinforcing the fight. Remember the Golden Horn Tower currently operating the equivalent of about 11 villages per minute, 11 villages per second, or just 11 villages full stop. It's training one batch of units every 72 seconds. But now, longbow numbers. Once again, he's looking to play with them. You can see the way that he's utilizing the longbows here, but Lament and I nowhere to be seen. Longbows getting cleaned up. 3 of them go down very, very quickly. That's going to be a 4th one that goes down as well. Let's get ourselves another little angle right here. I tell you what, the base of the Byzantines looks a little bit confusing coming in from this top side. Town centers just don't look the same way. It's a lovely angle. I'd put it on the thumbnail if it didn't confuse the hell out of me. And sometimes the lighting in these bases can be really good. Like, I love the way that it lights up I was going to say the oil. That's not oil. But look, even though the Byzantines love their oil, they don't keep it in systems. I can tell you that much. All right, let's get that UI back in. Crackety's still losing production buildings out here. He's trying his best to get them out, but unfortunately, I think this one's going to go down. Second sacred site. Taken on the south side. Let's check in with Metrocon. Let's check in with Meso. That's an Australian reference, if you guys get it. Let's check in with Mesotron, see how he's doing. How have his upgrades gone? Because, yeah, he's done pretty well, actually. +2's coming through all the way. Why have... Oh, Abbasid just have their... Is it only +1? He's only got +1 melee armor at the moment. So Abbasid have picked up their Gambeson's upgrade. What other upgrades has he got available to him? Wow, he's picked up a whole bunch of upgrades. Cataphracts are out, though. Lament Knight begin to move forward. Has he got the shield wall upgrade through? He does indeed. He's got shield wall turned on, and now the Cataphracts charge through the enemy lines. Big hits as they hit that enemy. I'm trying to think of a football reference. They look exactly the same way Australian rugby players look. Just charging through and just don't care about anything. And that's going to be a solid defense from Crackety, finally finding that 5th gear he's been looking for. Jones back in the field all of a sudden. He's going to be trying to find a nice little AoE there, but the damage is looking good. I feel like against Joan, you have to go for this ranged composition. You can't play a melee composition into her. It's the only way that you can really deal with her. Otherwise, you're just going to get cleaned up. But now, speaking of cleaned up, looks like Mesotron going to be losing out a huge portion of his army down to he's going to be in single digits right here. 9 military population, and Joan is stuck on one side of the wall that she does not want to be stuck on, but whether she's going to be getting out alive is a different matter. He's trying to find a way through. How's he doing back here in the base? There's still a battering ram over here. Still doing its magic. Joan's looking. She's hunting right now. She's trying to find a way. Mate, you could probably bring villagers from here. Siege this down. It's not worth it, though. It's just not worth it. It's just let her die. That's fine. Nice little attack. You just bring her back. You know, it's 2 seconds until she comes back up. Just click the button, Mesotron. You'll be fine, buddy. There he goes. All right, so it's 4 military units against 73 at this point. I've learned a lot from Crackety. Number 1, Mito build is good. Right, opening with the 3 systems, definitely chef's kiss. It's wonderful. Number 2, early mercenaries feels like a trap. And I think that we've kind of confirmed that here in this matchup at the very least. Number 3, kill and interrupt Joan as much as you can. You just want to prevent her from gathering experience so that you delay that age up. You delay that, or the level up. When you delay that level up, you're going to prevent level 3 Joan from doing a whole bunch of damage. And I think that that's really powerful. So those are the keys that I'm going to take away from this. I think also we can take away the fact that 1 town center is all you need with the Byzantines. You don't need to be going more than 1 TC. You can, obviously. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But Crackety's done a really good job just sticking on the 1 TC here and just playing it out. Just going late. He says, you know what? We're going to stick on 1 TC. I'm just going to be making units, getting my upgrades, and now we see that engineering company coming through. The foreign engineering company on the way here for Crackety. It's going to be looking to throw that down in the back of the base. Nice little spot he's got for it here. This is the landmark that allows you to purchase foreign siege for olive oil. Jones slowly rebuilding. It's going to be a tough hold, I'll say that much. 87 military against 14, but I've seen it happen before. If anything, never mind. It's not going to happen this game. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. The Imperial Age for Crackety, not even going to matter. Fellas, make sure you go and check out Crackety. I'll leave a link in the description where you can catch him live over on Twitch. And I'm just glad to be able to see that Mesotron has been taken down by Crackety. Revenge has been enacted today. And I'm all the better for it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.